This is your weekly weather briefing from the National Weather Service in Spokane for Tuesday, January 17th. An outline of the week ahead, we will see a wintry mix of weather for tonight with some significant ice accumulations in some areas. Wednesday, the wintry mix will be coming to an end as temperatures start to warm, and that could lead to the potential for flooding in some areas. On Thursday, the precipitation in general will be ending, and the flooding is still a potential for some of the areas of our area. And on Friday, mostly dry conditions will be giving way to the weekend of chance of snow and snow showers with rain mainly south and east of Spokane. After some snow showers on Monday, the rest of next week looks dry. Here's a 7-day outlook for Spokane and Wenatchee, and you can see temperatures will be warming significantly to above normal readings for this time of year, with temperatures above freezing for the first time in quite a while. For the ice and snow potentials, you can see that there's the best chance of ice in the purple area, where the Chelan County, Douglas County, Grant County are under the best chance for significant ice accumulations, and that will extend also into other areas potentially south of Highway 20, as well as maybe even some areas in the Idaho Panhandle. To the north of Highway 20, it's mostly going to fall as snow, and for the Spokane and Eastern Basin and the Southeast Washington, there's going to be a wintry mix of snow, freezing rain, changing to all rain. The onset timing of the precipitation tonight will see the precipitation reaching the Cascades around 4 p.m., moving into the basin around 7 p.m., and by 10 p.m. it should be reaching the panhandle of North Idaho. The ice accumulations that we could see from this are quite significant for our area. Areas in the red could see up to a quarter of an inch or more, and thus we're going to have an ice storm warning out for those locations. There's even the potential for some of the valleys in the Cascades to see over a half an inch of ice accumulation. Elsewhere, most of the areas will see somewhere in the neighborhood of a tenth to a quarter of an inch of ice, which is still significant, but generally that's going to cause problems for driving more than for the weight of the ice causing problems with branches and power lines and that. So really the area in red is where the best chance of that is going to occur. Here's the graphic showing the potential for snow amounts, and as you can see, the majority of the snow is going to be to the north of Highway 20 in eastern Washington and extreme northern Idaho. So we have a number of winter warnings out. In the shaded area up here in the north, it's a winter storm warning for the combination of ice and snow. The purple area has an ice storm warning for the Cascades through Wednesday night. That's going to go longer in the area because the temperatures there are going to stay below freezing for a much longer period. Out here in the lighter shade area, this is a freezing rain advisory, and the main reason for that is the temperatures are expected to warm up on Wednesday morning to above freezing, and that will end the freezing rain threat. And then down in the lower part of the Columbia Basin, there's a winter weather advisory out for a mix of rain, snow, and freezing rain. The total precipitation for Wednesday and Thursday is quite a bit for our area. We're going to see areas shaded in green are going to have well over a half an inch, and some places are going to be upwards of an inch or more of precipitation after the snow and ice have ended, and that's going to lead to the potential for flooding. Low-lying areas, especially for areas south of Spokane along the Palouse and southeast Washington and the southern Idaho Panhandle, are going to be most susceptible. Ice jam flooding is also a problem when temperatures warm after an extended cold snap like we've had. Urban flooding can also be possible with clogged storm drains, and main stem flooding is not expected at this time. Just wanted to show you the 48-hour precipitation change from the computer models. The forecasts that were made back on Sunday were quite a bit wetter than what the computers are now saying, by about a half an inch, and that's going to be favorable for us for the chances of flooding will be a little bit reduced from what we were previously looking at. Still a concern, but not as high of a concern as we had previously had. So we have a flood watch out for much of our area extending into the Columbia Basin, but like I said, the majority of the area that we're concerned about is this area south of Spokane on the Palouse and southern Idaho Panhandle. The freezing rain impacts, like I said, the power outages are primarily going to be in the Cascade Valleys and Western Basin, where trees and power lines could be impacted. The other, or all areas really, where there's going to be freezing rain, the driving could seriously be impacted. Road temperatures are likely going to be colder than the air temperature for several hours. So your car thermometer may read above freezing, but the roads are still going to be icy. So that's something to watch out for. Structure impacts. We are currently, the snow on most roofs is somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 20 pounds per square foot. That's kind of a maximum possible, given that some of the snow is probably not on the roof that had fallen. But we will be getting an additional 1 to 2 inches of liquid, maybe even 3 inches of liquid onto top of that snowpack, and that could add an additional 5 to 15 pounds. So if your area doesn't experience a lot of warming to melt some of that snow on your roof and get the snow off of your roof, then the weight on your roof could be impacted. Not to say that it's going to cause you a problem, but it's something to keep an eye on. And as I said, the flooding impacts mainly south and east of Spokane metro area. The main things we're looking at are urban impacts with flooded streets and the clogged storm drains. Small streams will also be causing a problem because of the frozen ground, which will lead to increased runoff, and that main stem rivers are not expected to be a problem at this time. And then our 8 to 14 day outlook for next week, we're looking for dry conditions and below normal temperatures, but really realistically they're still going to be above where we have been, so it won't feel all that cold compared to what we've experienced for much of this winter so far. And we thank you for joining us on our recorded weather briefing.